Hello boys and girls, this is Grandma Nancy, and I'm going to read to you a story about Kody traveling. It is a wonderful story about Jesus' life on earth, and each chapter will tell you special things about what Jesus did, and it can give you some good thinking too. I think you'll really like it. Hello boys and girls. This is a story about Kody travels. And it's about the story of Matthew. This is the first one, and it'll be about the birth of Jesus. Remember, Jesus said, "Let little children come to him." Let's see what this means for Kody. Hi there. My name is Kody, and I'm only 8 years old. I am full of ginger, and sometimes I get into a heap of trouble with my dad because I can't sit still. For some reason, I have to keep moving. Excitement is where I want to be. The other day, I was so busy doing with I don't know what that I just got wore out. So I laid down, and guess what? I fell asleep. In no time, something happened, and I wandered off into a wonderland of adventure of my life. I found myself in a far city, somewhere out there that's just so different, and the people were different too. I just couldn't imagine where I was. I finally sat down on a dusty street and just watched. I wanted to get up and run, but I just sat there looking and listening. It was the first time I could ever remember doing that. It felt so good for once that I listened to people traveling and passing by. And for an 8-year-old, it still caught my attention. I heard people talk about angels. Angels? What are those, and what did they do? And what were they saying? I wanted to see, but I just listened. My heart beat fast and my legs wanted to go somewhere, but for some reason I couldn't move. Now an old lady passing close said that last night there were angels out there singing on the countryside. That sounded like a fun place to me. I thought I wanted to go there, but where was it? And then I heard someone else say a baby was born last night, but where was that? They didn't know, though it was somewhere close. I heard a kid run by and he said, "Down at the stable." Stable? What's that? Back home where my dad and I live, that sounded like it could be a barn. Cows, horses, and goats. Barn? Who would be born in a barn? About that time, my dad called me and my nap was over. I sat straight up and ran to the kitchen just in time for supper. I sat there looking at what Dad had prepared and I said, "Dad, who was born in a barn? Who was born in a stable?" There was just a bit of silence, and Dad said, "It was Jesus, my boy. It was Jesus. And that was a long time ago, and we still talk about it today." Hello boys and girls, this is Grandma Nancy, and I'm going to read to you a story about Kody traveling. It is a wonderful story about Jesus' life on earth, and each chapter will tell you special things about what Jesus did, and it can give you some good thinking too. I think you'll really like it. Hello, boys and girls. This is Grandma Nancy, and I'm going to tell you the second chapter in the story, Kody Travels. This one is from Matthew 2. On this clear summer day, it was off to the park. Great Grandma Nancy and Kody were out for a fun time. At the park, they fed the geese and remembered earlier how the little fellows tracked behind their mamas. Look, Grandma, those little fur balls float on the water just like the big ones. You're right, Kody. Now let's go swing. Okay, but I'll beat you down the slide first. No, you go ahead. That was fun, Grandma. Now let's swing. It didn't take much of that, and we were ready for a peanut butter sandwich. Kody, you sit here against the tree, and I'll get you a sandwich. Are you ready? Kody, here's your sandwich. Oh my, Kody was gone asleep, and I mean really asleep. Guess what? He was in his dream world, and Grandma couldn't wake him. In seconds, Kody had arrived somewhere, and he muttered something Grandma couldn't make out. It seems he was sitting outside some different kind of a house in that same city where he sat on that street corner before. By now, baby Jesus was born and nearly 2 years old. Kody felt all alone, but soon 3 important, strange-looking men showed up. Boy, did they look different. And they had robes and turbans like I had never seen before. They had eye-catching chests under their arms and asked where a certain child lived. It seems they had followed a brilliant star for hundreds of miles, and it stopped right over this house. This is the place, Kody said, while frozen in his tracks. Kody's eyes were as big as saucers. Those 3 tall men went inside the house, gave the parents some gold, frankincense, and myrrh, and after a short time came out, passing right by Kody. They went on down the street a different way, never noticing Kody. There was great joy and rejoicing coming from that house, and Kody wondered what to do. Should he run or stay? With all that wonderment, Kody suddenly woke up. He explained a little of his dream to Great-Grandma, his Sunday school teacher, and she said that was good that he woke up when he did. Why, Grandma? Because very soon the wicked king of that time sent his soldiers to kill the youngest of the children, and you might have been caught in the middle of that. And while they picked up the picnic lunch, Grandma explained how Jesus and his parents went to Egypt for a few years and were safe. They returned later, and then Jesus grew up in Nazareth. Kody, I think we better go home. This has been a big day, and we spent some of it with Jesus. Okay, Grandma, I'll race you to the car. Boy, I will never forget this day, and neither will I, Grandma was heard to say. Hello, boys and girls. This is Grandma Nancy, and I'm going to read to you a story about Kody traveling. It is a wonderful story about Jesus' life on earth, and each chapter will tell you special things about what Jesus did, and it can give you some good thinking too. I think you'll really like it. Hello, boys and girls. This is Grandma Nancy again, and this is about Chapter 3 in the story of Kody Travels. And this one comes from Matthew 3. Oh my, Kody was running last week on the farm. His legs couldn't keep up, and he took a spill of all spills. He hit, he rolled, he just laid there, and that knee was skinned good. Grandma saw it all and quickly helped Kody into the house, and that Davenport felt good. While Grandma went to get something to put on his knee, Kody did as usual. He relaxed and he was asleep into dreamland. Somewhere only Kody knew. It was breezy on the way, but Kody soon found himself sitting by a river. It was noisy, but plenty of shade to sit under. It was comfortable, and I soon heard voices coming along the riverbank on my side. There was an older-looking man out front with so much hair and all those clothes. I've never seen anyone dressed like that before. They said that he only eats what he finds, like honey and locust. Boy, I thought I had trouble eating what Dad fixes. Then the preacher-like man started crying out. His voice echoed past me and up the valley. Talk about human thunder. I didn't miss hearing a thing he said. He shouted for people to repent. God was close. My, the people must have felt it, because a lot of those folks waded into the river and were put under. They came up all wet, but they looked like they were going to be different people. Some religious leaders showed up, and this man scolded them good. He even called them snakes. He couldn't embarrass those hard, stubborn men, but he let them know God had their number and hell was very real. I sure like this preacher's spice. I wonder if I could do that someday. I think I'll ask my great-grandpa about this. He puts thunder in his preaching sometimes. But then it seemed everything got quiet, and down the riverbank came a modest-looking man. I guess he wanted to be baptized like the rest. There was a pause and some talk I couldn't understand. Soon the preacher baptized this younger man. And when he came up out of the water, something I had never seen before happened. It looked like a dove, and it lit right on him. That's something. The people were silent and almost stunned. What would be next? Then it happened. A voice spoke out from somewhere. It had a gentleness to it, but it was very definite. And this I heard, and I could understand it. The voice said, "This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased." I was breathless, and the people only stared. And about then, I felt Grandma's bandage stretch across my skinned knee, and I was wide awake. I was slow to roll off the Davenport because I wanted to think a little more about where I had been. Maybe you can go sometime. What do you think? And that's the story of Jesus. Hello, boys and girls. This is Grandma Nancy, and I'm going to read to you a story about Kody traveling. It is a wonderful story about Jesus' life on earth, and each chapter will tell you special things about what Jesus did, and it can give you some good thinking too. I think you'll really like it. Hello, boys and girls. This is Grandma Nancy, and I'm going to tell you about chapter 4 in the story of Kody Travels. This comes from Matthew 4, 1 through 11. It was getting late, and boy was I hungry. I can hear the cooking going on in the kitchen, and for some reason I'm extra hungry. I don't usually do this, but for some reason I crawled up into the recliner. As hungry as I was, I sure won't go to sleep. But guess what? Goodbye. Wait, I feel like I need someone to go with me this time. Will, how about you going with me? Will's my cousin. Kody, I think I want to stay home. Oh, come on, Will. Well, I'll go this time, but I'm hungry too. Maybe we can find some food along the way, like honey and locusts. Hamburger. We'll look at the trees, the water, and the old-fashioned city. Jerusalem, maybe it is. For some reason, Kody and Will drifted down away from all the people. Where are we, Kody? Just sit here a while and we'll figure it out. It sure looks like a rugged hillside. There's a pathway, and over there is some brush and a few boulders. We can sit beside them and hide. Pretty soon a man came by, and he had what looked like angels tagging along, and a few extra ones hovering over him. I looked at Will, and he wasn't about to say anything. I put my finger over my mouth, and we just sat there in silence. My, I don't think this is real, but it sure was. This man, and I think the angels called him Jesus. This man took a long while to tell the angels about his experience. They tried to help him some way, but he just had to talk to them. He said that the devil, imagine that, had just talked with him and wanted him first to turn stones into bread. And then he asked him to jump off the temple. And then the devil offered him some kind of deal where he would turn the world powers over to him. The angels knew Satan was tempting their Jesus, but as it turned out, Jesus resisted all of this and told the devil to get out and get away from him because he was going to be faithful only to God. And that is why we are told to resist the devil and he will flee from us. Jesus spoke scripture to the devil, and that was his good defense. Will and I looked at each other and couldn't believe our ears. The angels rejoiced and really blessed this Jesus man for his courage to resist like he did. The angels, one by one, left Jesus, and by the time they all slipped away, Jesus was happy as they. It is said this was the 3 temptations of Jesus. By now, Will and I were both so hungry, we woke up. Will went back home for some of his mama's cooking, and I could smell some kitchen goodies too. Boy, I'm ready for supper tonight. And Dad said, "It's about time. Here's your honey and locust leftovers." Oh, Dad. Hello, boys and girls. This is Grandma Nancy, and I'm going to read to you a story about Kody traveling. It is a wonderful story about Jesus' life on earth, and each chapter will tell you special things about what Jesus did, and it can give you some good thinking too. I think you'll really like it. Hello, boys and girls. This is Grandma Nancy again, and I'm here to tell you chapter 5 in the story of Kody Travels. Now, this comes from Matthew 4:18 through 25. "Hey, Will, come on. You always hang back." "Yes, I know, but you're too fast for me." "What's your hurry?" "Since you're out of breath, Will, let's sit on that bale of hay in Great-Grandpa's barn." "Kody, look at that newborn calf. Let's watch him." The longer they watched, the closer to dreamland they drifted. And it happened. Both fell asleep, and together Kody and Will traveled to that land yet to be completely explored by two Iowa boys. Here's how the journey went. Oh boy, hang on. Look, Will, look at that big lake. We have some pretty big ponds back home, but just look at that. I'll beat you down there where those guys are. Okay, but don't get too close. Out of breath, they sat down and watched. Over there, Kody, here comes someone else. He doesn't look like a fisherman like these others. Let's just see what happens. The one man talked to the other two for a while, and they walked off together. Kody, did you hear what they said? Well, one man said to the others, what if you come with me? I'll make you fishers of men. Man, that's strange. There they go, Will. Let's follow them. Look, there's two more guys fishing. They stopped and they talked and they walked off together. Kody, who is that one man who talks these fishermen into leaving their boats and go with him? I don't know, Will, but I think of one of them I heard call him Jesus. I'm afraid, Kody. I don't think you need to be, but let's just tag along and see what happens. And when they fry their fish tonight, maybe they'll give us a bite. Okay, but let's not get too close. This may take a while. Hey, Kody, I'm getting pretty tuckered. These guys are going everywhere. I didn't expect all of this. Look at all those people coming and gathering around. Jesus is doing an awful lot of talking. And look, sick people are getting well. Boy, oh boy, I wonder if he can help my tired legs. But just look at all those people. Jesus is sure someone special. People love him. They listen to him and they follow him. Kody, let's sit down under that tree over there. I need a rest. That sounds good to me. I'll race you there. Oh, you go ahead. I'm too tired. So they did, and the shade sure did feel good. Together they fell exhausted, and guess what? They were right back to Great-Grandpa's barn, sitting on that bale of hay. Hey, look at that calf, Kody. He's having his supper. I'm hungry too. Let's go home. Grandma always has something good to eat. That sounds good to me. And it's supper time too. Hello, boys and girls. This is Grandma Nancy, and I'm going to read to you a story about Kody traveling. It is a wonderful story about Jesus' life on earth, and each chapter will tell you special things about what Jesus did, and it can give you some good thinking too. I think you'll really like it. Hello again, boys and girls. This is Grandma Nancy, and we're going to take chapter 6 today of the story of Kody Travels. Now, this story comes from Matthew, the chapter 5, chapter 6, and chapter 7. Kody, did you see that little bunny rabbit? I sure did, Will. Every summer there's lots of those fellows that bounce around in and out of the grass along Grandpa's long driveway. Look, there he goes. Let's follow him and see if we can catch him. Oh, there he is again. Oh my, he ran under all those posts piled out next to the grain bin. Let's watch and see if he comes back out. Kody, you sit here and I'll sit over there. Do you see him yet? No, just keep watching. Oh, here comes Skippy. And when he barks, the bunny never will come out. How long will we have to watch? Pretty soon, both Kody and Will fell fast asleep again, watching. Oh boy, here we go. Hold on, Will. This journey is going to be bumpy. Look at those fluffy clouds. Not for long. We're going down already. And where is this, Kody? I don't know, but there's a lot of people down there. My, that was an easy landing. Green grass everywhere. Hey, Will, look, this whole hillside is green and there are people sitting everywhere. I wonder what this is all about. Oh, Kody, look, there's that same man they call Jesus. Where? Up there, and everyone is looking his direction. We better be quiet, Kody. Jesus is speaking to the crowd. Will, this sounds a little familiar. I've heard some of this in Sunday school with Grandma. Hear what? Oh, I hear that. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. That must be us. They call us children. And you are the light of the world. Grandma taught that 3 weeks ago. You know, Kody, we have to always get along with others because Jesus said people are to be reconciled. That's a pretty big word. Now he's talking about staying married. That doesn't mean us. And go the extra mile. What is that, Kody? Well, I think it means to do the extra. He just told everyone not to be show-offs. Something about praying and giving where you can't be seen. I act up and show off sometimes. I don't understand all of this, but Jesus said to do it. And he said to do the right and you'll get credit in heaven, like some treasure. And then he said what I can understand, and that is to put God first. Kody, that must mean we are to go to church every Sunday and do what Mom and Dad says. Yep, you are right. And did you hear what he just said? Treat everyone the way you want to be treated. Wow, that sounds pretty tough, especially at school. I think Jesus is about done, Will. He just said, not everyone is going to make it. Make what? Make it to heaven. We have to do what God wants us to do. And then he finished by saying, when you do the right things, it's like building a house on a rock. Otherwise, it's like building on sand. When Jesus was done, the people seemed to like what he said. How about you, Kody? Did you like it? It sounded okay to me. The sun was going down over there, and we better head home. About that time, Skippy barked, and there went that bunny rabbit. We'll never catch him now. That's okay. Let him grow up free like we kids are. There's Mom, Kody. Where have you been, Will? Oh, we found and followed a bunny rabbit, Mom. Just a bunny rabbit. Hello, boys and girls. This is Grandma Nancy, and I'm going to read to you a story about Kody traveling. It is a wonderful story about Jesus' life on earth, and each chapter will tell you special things about what Jesus did, and it can give you some good thinking too. I think you'll really like it. Hello, boys and girls. This is Grandma Nancy, and today we're going to take chapter 7 in the story of Kody Travels. Now, this story is taken from Matthew 8. Skippy, where are you? Oh, bow wow. Oh, there you are. Let's run down and see the calves in the barn. Come on, Skippy. Oh, look at that red calf. He can't wait to see you, Skippy. Kody, where are you? We're with the calves, Grandma. Okay, but stay close by. Oh, we will. Sit here, Skippy, and we'll sit together in the hay. That's a good boy, Skippy. You are my best friend. And they nestled together, and that's all it took. Both Kody and Skippy lifted away together into their next journey. That's right, together and together they settled into a familiar spot in that distant land where Kody and Will had been before. They landed on their feet and Skippy barked. "What are you doing here, Skippy?" "I couldn't let you go alone," Skippy said. "What? Did you say that?" "I sure did, Kody. Way out here we have to talk, don't you think? I can't believe this, that you're a talking dog." "You stay right by me and look over there, Skippy. That is that walking preacher they call Jesus. Let's see if we can get closer. Look, Skippy, Jesus healed a leper, and he is so happy." "Boy, I'm tired after that long walk. I think they call this Capernaum. And here comes a soldier man. They call him a centurion, Skippy. He looks like a real believer, and look, he's leaving and happy like the leper. Kody, look, we are at some guy's house. Skippy, I can't believe you talk. Wait until I tell Grandma when we get home." "Oh, you better not." "We'll see. Hey, they're going into Peter's house. Let's look through the window. See, Skippy? That looks like Peter's mother-in-law. Jesus heals her now, and now she's getting supper. Look out, Skippy, here comes Jesus. Would you two like something to eat?" "Oh boy, did you hear that? That was Jesus, and we're hungry." "Sure, thank you." "Kody, let's hang around a while." "There you go talking again, Skippy. Someone's going to hear you." Anyway, that evening, all kinds of people came for help. Some wanted to follow Jesus, but decided it was too hard. Later, Jesus and his disciples got in a boat. "Skippy, let's stay here on shore and watch." And in a while, the wind started to really blow hard. The waves got big, and all of a sudden it calmed down. "Skippy, what do you suppose made that happen?" "It was Jesus, Kody. But look, they're going way over on the other side." "Skippy, I can't see much from here, but it looks like a lot of commotion, and then some hogs are now tumbling into the water." "Wow! Sit still, Skippy. Let's stay here and see what happens next." After some time, this fellow came running by and stopped to catch his breath. "Skippy, listen to him. The man said that when Jesus healed 2 demented men and the animals ran away, the people wanted Jesus to leave. You know, Kody, I think it's time for us to leave too." "There you go, talking again, Skippy." About that time, Grandma came around the corner of the barn to bottle feed the calves, and both Kody and Skippy woke up. Did Skippy talk to Grandma? I don't think so. "Grandma, you'll never believe what I heard and what I saw." "Here, Kody, you feed that black calf, and I'll feed the red one." "Okay, Grandma." Hello, boys and girls. This is Grandma Nancy, and I'm going to read to you a story about Kody traveling. It is a wonderful story about Jesus' life on earth, and each chapter will tell you special things about what Jesus did, and it can give you some good thinking too. I think you'll really like it. Hi again, boys and girls. This is Grandma Nancy, and today we're taking Chapter 8 of Kody Travels. Comes from Matthew, the 9th chapter. "Oh, Kody, we're glad when you can stay a while at our house. Your great Grandma Nancy really enjoys reading to you. What story would you like me to read today, Kody? Oh, that one about Jesus. I'm pretty tired, so you crawl up on that side of the bed, and I'll lie on this side, Kody. And now, while I read, let's imagine we're over in that land where Jesus lived among those people. Okay, I'm ready. Grandma begins her fascinating reading, and lo and behold, before the first paragraph is read, both are sound asleep. And now what? Well, that's right. What now? They lifted off together, and the journey was on. Come on, Grandma. I've done this before, and you'll just love it. I know, Kody, but I'm out of breath already. Look, Kody, is that where we're going? I think so, Grandma. It won't be long now. This is Capernaum, Grandma, and there's that Jesus preacher. Okay, but look, he heals a man, and some people don't like it. Remember, Grandma, you taught us in Sunday school how some people didn't like the good things that Jesus did. Yeah, I know, Kody. Let's follow along for a while. And look, Kody, that is Matthew, and Jesus is going to his house for supper. Watch, Grandma. There will be some who won't like this either. Yes, Kody, you're right about that, but let's get closer and hear what Jesus is saying. Listen, I have not come to call the righteous, but sinners to repentance. Wow, Grandma, that was Jesus talking. Kody, if we stay close, we're going to see and learn a lot. Okay, Grandma. Look, there a woman got close to Jesus and touched him, and she was helped. Something was wrong with her blood, they say. What's next, Grandma? I don't know, but we will soon find out. In another house, Jesus raised back to life a young girl that had died. That's an amazing thing, Grandma. I have never seen this happen before. Oh, this is like a Sunday school class right in front of us. Grandma, Jesus is leaving and there are 2 blind men. I wonder if Jesus will do anything to help them. Watch this, Grandma. Jesus is touching their eyes and now they can see. Wow, those guys are excited. They can see and they're talking and they are telling everyone. I think I would too. Kody, take my hand. Here comes a man who has a devil in him. I wonder how Jesus is going to handle this one. Oh, Grandma, Jesus will. He always helps people. Yes, you're right, Kody, and look how excited the people are. Grandma, here comes those big shot leaders. You watch, they will criticize Jesus again. You're right, Kody, but watch, Grandma. Jesus will keep doing more good because they say he has a lot of compassion. Grandma, I'm ready to go home. How about you? I'm pretty ready myself, Kody. Let's see what is going on back home. Okay, and here we are, still relaxed on the bed, and Grandma finishes that story about Jesus. That was a good one, Grandma. I almost feel like I was there myself. How about you? Hello, boys and girls. This is Grandma Nancy, and I'm going to read to you a story about Kody traveling. It is a wonderful story about Jesus' life on earth, and each chapter will tell you special things about what Jesus did, and it can give you some good thinking too. I think you'll really like it. Hello, boys and girls. It's Grandma Nancy again. And today we're going to do chapter 9 from the story of Kody Travels. This story comes from Matthew chapter 10 and 11. Hi, Will. I'm glad you came to visit again, and you brought your dog Snoopy. He sure is a bundle of excitement. Kody, what have you been doing lately? Oh, I like to watch Uncle Caleb's young goats. They're just like jumping jacks. Come and I'll show you. You too, Snoopy, come along. You know, Will, Skippy, my dog, and I went on one of our wonderful excursions, and you will never believe it. Skippy talked when we were over there. Then he never said a word when we got back home. Well, don't tell anyone, Kody, or they will think you are crazy. Well, let's take Snoopy this time. Okay, just look at those kid goats. Kody, I can see why you like watching these baby goats. They really are funny. Why don't you sit on that bucket, and I'll sit on this one. Come here, Snoopy. And just as both Will and Kody reached out to pet him, they lifted off and were gone. Will, I can't believe this, but here we go again. Look at all that land and ocean down there. I hope we are headed in the right direction. We always do so don't worry. There is just like before, and there is that preacher man, Jesus. Will, are you okay? Sure, and so is Snoopy. We better stick together so we don't get lost. Kody, look, there's Jesus, and he has 12 of his disciples with him. Let's stay behind this bush and listen. Will, did you hear that? Jesus is sending those men out to preach and to help people like he does. I wouldn't want to be in their sandals. That would be a tough job. Boy, did Jesus give them an earful. Those guys are headed for a lot of troubles. And Will, it sounds like their lives will be in danger. Just listen to what Jesus is saying to them. Whosoever therefore shall confess me before men, him will I confess also before my Father, which is in heaven. But whosoever shall deny me before men, him will I also deny before my Father, who is in heaven. Wow, Kody, I'm going to stay behind this bush. You too, Snoopy. And did you hear that, Will? Jesus just said that he's bringing a sword and not peace, because some will follow right and others will follow wrong. And then he said that we must take up a cross and follow him. Grandma hasn't taught us all of this yet on Sunday. Are you ready to go home, Kody? Yes, but let's wait just a little longer. See, Jesus and the 12 disciples are splitting up. Let's tag along, Will. It could get really interesting. Come along, Snoopy. Boy, I'm tired, but Jesus keeps going from town to town, so we'll just have to keep going too. I hear Jesus talking about John the Baptist and what a great man he was. I remember John the Baptist when he was preaching at the Jordan River. Some didn't listen to him, just like so many aren't listening to Jesus today. Hear that, Kody? Jesus is getting all over these people because they aren't paying attention. Wow, maybe we should listen better. Well, I like what Jesus just said. Hey, quiet, Snoopy, so we can hear this. Jesus has said, "Come unto me, all you that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and you shall find rest unto your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." Oh yes, I like that, and that makes me feel like it's time to go home. Me too. Come here, Snoopy. And that was all it took. The three of them together left, and guess what? They were still sitting on those buckets, watching those little goats. Hello, boys and girls. This is Grandma Nancy. and I'm going to read to you a story about Kody traveling. It is a wonderful story about Jesus' life on earth. And each chapter will tell you special things about what Jesus did. And it can give you some good thinking too. I think you'll really like it. Hello, boys and girls. This is Grandma Nancy, and today we're going to take chapter 10 of the story of Kody Travels. And this is taken from Matthew chapter 12. Caleb, may I go with you? Grandma said I can help you with the chores. First, Kody, let's stop by the kennel and get my dog Buddy. How do you like this name, Kody? I do. But will he get to go with us? Yes, but let's pet Buddy first. And this way he will stay with both of us. Come here, Buddy. He came running over to us with his tail a-dancing. Kody reached to pet him, and so did Caleb. And when their hands touched, that was when it happened. Chores will have to wait because it's traveling time. Kody, where are we going? I'm not sure, Caleb. We will soon find out. Boy, is this different. Don't worry, though, I've done this before. We are headed in the same direction as before, Caleb. Look at all the cows down there. Buddy is a sheepdog, you know, and how about all that water below? I think we're about to land. Buddy, look at those sheep. Get ready, Caleb. Okay. And there was Jesus again. He is with his disciples, walking by a grain field. I feel at home here, Kody. Me too. Look, here comes the fault finders, criticizing them for eating some of the grain on the Sabbath. And Kody, listen, Jesus is telling them good. Yes, he always does, and they don't like it. Let's follow Jesus, Kody. Look, he's going into their synagogue, and he's healing a man with a withered hand. Boy, am I glad he got the use of his hand back, but those same guys are criticizing him again. And look, Kody, those men are huddled over there with their fists clenched. They're mad. Jesus is leaving now, Caleb. Let's tag along and see what is next. My, he heals all those people, and here comes a man with a demon. Wow, Jesus heals him too. Kody, those same fellows are back, and listen, they say Jesus is doing all of this healing by the power of the devil himself. Caleb, you watch. Jesus will corner these criticizers again, and he does. Both Caleb and Kody heard Jesus say, you guys better listen. If you aren't with me, then you're against me. And hear that? Jesus calls them a bunch of snakes. Wow. Kody, listen to those big shots. They want Jesus to perform some big miracle, to give them a sign to prove Jesus who he is, who he says he is. What do you think Jesus will do, Caleb? Not much. He's too smart for them. He just tells them to look up the story of Jonah in their Bible. Oh, I like that. Here come more people, Kody. Jesus tells them they think that they are all cleaned up religiously, but they are now worse than someone who has a whole bunch of demons in him. Kody, I think Jesus should get away from these soreheads. I think so too, Caleb. Caleb, do you see what I see? Here comes Jesus' mother and his family. They want to talk with him, but listen to Jesus turn this into a good lesson, Caleb. Jesus said, for whosoever shall do the will of my Father which is in heaven, the same is my brother and sister and mother. I like that, Kody, although I believe Jesus still loved his family. Kody, speaking of family, I think we better head home. We have seen and heard a lot on this trip. Okay, let's go. and soon they were home and real ready to do their chores. Buddy was glad to get home too and get a good drink of water. He had been quiet the whole time, and now he could run and have his fun. They were all a little tired, but so glad to be back home. There's no place like home. Hello, boys and girls. This is Grandma Nancy, and I'm going to read to you a story about Kody traveling. It is a wonderful story about Jesus' life on earth, and each chapter will tell you special things about what Jesus did, and it can give you some good thinking too. I think you'll really like it. Hello again, boys and girls. This is Grandma Nancy, and today's story is chapter 11 from Kody Travels. Matthew 13 is going to be the chapter. Kody is a bundle of activity. It is more than Great Grandpa can keep up with, but we manage. Kody, why don't you stack your blocks and see how high you can go? I remember when I was your age and I could add one block on another, higher than my head. And they would begin to weave a little, and over they went like a giant redwood tree falling. I had to start all over and just see how high I could go the next time. Okay, Grandma, watch me. But first let me do my push-ups. Dad has me doing 100 push-ups a day. I don't know about 100, but let me see, okay? Well, Kody did 20 and then laid flat on his stomach. And in no time, he was asleep. Kody, are you asleep? No answer. Kody, I know what you do when you sleep like this. I think Great Grandpa better go with you this time. Hold up, Kody, and I'll lean back in my recliner. Okay, I'm ready. Hurry up, Grandpa. Remember, I'm slower than you are, Kody. You better put the brakes on. Oh, we are about there. Here we are. Wow. Let me get my breath, Kody. Where are we? Look, there's Jesus sitting in a boat close to the shore and speaking to all those people standing around. I'm glad you're along, Grandpa. This looks pretty big. I'm glad I came too. Jesus just spoke the parable of the sower. Jesus talks in stories so people can understand. We want to be good listeners and doers, Kody. Jesus speaks in a lot of parables, Kody. He wants the people to know the devil is always at work, influencing for the bad. And there will be a time when God will judge all the right and the wrong. We have to stay with Jesus and always do right, Kody. I know, Grandpa. What else is Jesus saying? Let's listen carefully. Jesus just said that his teachings are like finding a treasure or a bag of pearls. Well, I like that, Grandpa. Jesus is walking away now. Let's follow along, Kody. Here, give me your hand. I like this. Grandpa, Jesus is walking a long way. Can you walk that far? Yes, I think I can. You know, this is a place where Jesus grew up when he was a boy, Kody. He just went into that synagogue. He's teaching and the people don't like it. They think he's just one of them since he lived there with his family. Kody, let's move over closer so we can hear better. Jesus said, a prophet is not accepted in his own country. Now Jesus is walking away and not helping these people. Kody, let's go home. These people don't care for Jesus, and I believe it would be best for us to leave too. Okay, Grandpa, I'm ready to go home. And just then, Grandpa woke up in his recliner and Kody was finishing up his push-ups. "Oh, Grandpa, I feel like I have done something extra today." "Me too." Hello, boys and girls. This is Grandma Nancy, and I'm going to read to you a story about Kody traveling. It is a wonderful story about Jesus' life on earth, and each chapter will tell you special things about what Jesus did, and it can give you some good thinking too. I think you'll really like it. Hello, boys and girls. This is Grandma Nancy, and we're going to take chapter 12 of the story, Kody Travels. The chapter we're using today is Matthew 14. "Kody, look. Look at those big balloons in the sky." "I see them, Grandma." "Kody, let's get to the car and drive up to the highest point on our farm." "Okay, Grandma, but look. There are some more balloons. And up here we can see them so much better, and they just fill the sky with so many of them and so many pretty colors." "Oh, Grandma, I think one is going to land in our farm field." "Oh, wow, it just lifted back up, but here comes another one close by." "Well, let's sit here and just watch them." "Grandma, why don't we go on one of our trips and glide right past those huge balloons?" "Oh, Kody, this will have to be a quick one. It's getting late in the afternoon." "Oh my, this is fast, and we're on our way, Grandma." "I'm glad it doesn't take long." "There's Jesus, Kody. He seems very dejected. I wonder what has happened. Let's talk to one of his disciples." "What did he say?" "It sounded like old King Herod had John the Baptist executed because of some foolish oath Herod had promised to a woman." "Look, Grandma, Jesus is getting in that boat and heading over there. So many people are following, and they're meeting him there. He just can't get away from the crowds. It will take a while, but let's get closer and find a shade tree, Kody." "The shade is nice, but the sun is going down, and Jesus keeps healing those sick people." "Grandma, I'm getting hungry." "I know, but just a little longer, okay?" "I think everyone is getting hungry, Kody. The disciples are talking to Jesus, and Jesus is praying. The disciples are talking, and everyone is sitting down. And now, look at all those baskets of food. And the disciples are passing it around to everyone. They're coming our way now. Maybe we can eat with them, Kody." "This is great, Grandma, but look at all the food left over." "There are no stores around, so Jesus had to do a miracle, didn't he?" "I have never seen anything like this before, Grandma. And everyone had all they wanted to eat, just like we did." "I think we better go home now, Kody." "But look, Grandma, the disciples are getting into a boat while Jesus is sending the people home, and he's headed up yonder." "Kody, the disciples in that boat are in trouble. It's getting late, but Jesus is waiting." "Oh my, look there. Jesus is walking on the water. I'm afraid, Grandma." "Kody, take my hand and keep watching." "Jesus will handle this." "I believe he is, Grandma. One of the disciples got out of the boat and is trying to walk on the water too." Oh, he just went under the water, but Jesus reached out his hand and grabbed him just in time." "This is too much for me, Grandma." And just then the storm ended and all is well. "Kody, Jesus and the disciples are going way over there, and it looks like a lot of people are meeting him there. It seems that everywhere he goes, people are waiting for him. Give Jesus time and he will heal and help them like he has all the others. This is how Jesus is. Those were the people who didn't want anything to do with him, remember? But they had a change of heart, Kody. Grandma, isn't it time to go home? We have stayed extra this time. Okay, Kody, let's go. The time will change will help us. Here we are, Grandma, and the last of those big balloons are fading over the countryside. I will take you home and you can tell all about the balloons. I will. But what about when Jesus fed the 5,000 people? Oh my, what a day, what a trip, Kody. We will sleep good tonight.